I guess you know why I'm dressed up like this, right? I'm preparing for my Emancipendence period in Jamaica. Hey, how you doing? Faye Ellington here. Well, listen to me now. Before me say anything else, let me say this. Olympics is a godsend. Why do you think me say so? Well, you see all them people who don't want to go in at them yard at night time, them can go in and be comfortable and go watch the Olympics or listen to the coverage. Oh yes, because we have new curfew hours, okay? I made it head on the say it was going to come because some of we may not behave. We're not following the rules and regulations and do as we feel like. And so numbers are going up and unfortunately some people are dying and some people are getting really seriously ill. And some of you are young people. So what I mean by Olympics, as God said, is that we can stay in. Curfew starts at 3 o'clock, right? On a Sunday and on public holidays. And Monday to Saturday, curfew starts at 8 o'clock. And then the Olympics schedule for the evening, this is Jamaica hours now, start at 7 o'clock. So we can go in and watch Olympics, right? We don't have to be out on the road causing problems and giving yourself and others a hard time. Follow the rules and regulations. But here we are, Emancipation Day. And let me just remind you, Emancipation Day is August 1. But because it is falling on a Sunday this year, we're going to get Monday. So, 2 holidays. But curfew starts at 3 o'clock on both days, so bear that in mind. And I reflect when I think about emancipation, about the people from Manchonil in Portland. And one of our traditional dances is Brookings. And when you look at the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission and their traditional dances, you see the people coming from Manchonil. You have the red, that's the king and the queen dressed in red, and the king and the queen dressed in blue. All of them are colonial colors. But hear this now. Hear them sing. Jubilee, Jubilee, this is the year of Jubilee. Queen Victoria, give we free. Queen Victoria, give we free. Queen Victoria, give we free. This is the year of Jubilee. August morning, come again. August morning? August 1. That's when they got emancipation. But between me and you, Queen Victoria never give nobody freedom. And no fight go on for it over a long time. None of the Maroons take on the slave masters, And she organized people, And she, look here, then there was like people like Paul Bogle, and then Sam Sharp. So get your history right now, man. Or at least understand your history and know it, because if you don't know it, then you're going to have problems. I really feel that history should be taught from the kindergarten level right up to university. If we know our history, I think we'll appreciate where we are far more. We'll respect ourselves. We'll respect others. We'll respect our community. We'll respect our nation. If we know our history, we'll understand what the Middle Passage was like. Can you imagine people gather you up in Ghana, for example, chain you up, carry you, put you upon boat, load you in like you are loading banana and coffee and cane, close, tie you up, you're in the hold of the ship, you can't breathe, you not get proper food and water. Anything that is private that you need to do in front of everybody, I'm telling you, if you know your history, you're going to behave differently. You're going to treat yourself differently. You're going to respect yourself and you're going to respect others. And sometime when the Africans couldn't take it, they jump overboard. And what's yet? Sometimes the people who operate the boat shove them overboard. Learn your history. The Zong, read up on that. Listen, man, you see this Emancipation weekend, yeah? The Sunday and the Monday? Get a book. If you don't know a history book, go online. I charge you with that responsibility. I'm challenging you to learn your history and read something about slavery coming through to emancipation. Inform yourself. You mustn't just say, no, they used to treat the slave then. And by the way, no slaves were brought from Africa. They were human beings, persons with professions, some of them. They were enslaved when they came to the Americas and to the Caribbean and to Jamaica. So no slave never come from America. A people with dignity they brought from Africa rather and come and enslave in this part of the world. and treat them like them is nothing. So I'm getting a little passionate about this because I believe if you really take the time to learn your history, you're going to deal with things differently. So this emancipation period, I'm going to say emancipate yourself from ignorance. Emancipate yourself from disrespect of self and others. Emancipate yourself from red eye and gravelicious. Emancipate yourself from gossip. Emancipate yourself from misinformation and disinformation. Emancipate yourself from the indecent behavior. Emancipate yourself from treating others as if they are nothing. And if you go back in with history, if you can visualize the people in the hold of that ship, them and the urine and everything else mixed up, and when they come and they auction them, or them, can you imagine plantation owners buying people? But the worst part of it, you see when we get the emancipation, money pay, money pay, but it's not slaves get it. Are they plantation owners? They were paid because they will no longer have the use of the property called slaves. So they were paid for the loss of that revenue. Can you imagine? And some people don't understand what we mean by a reparation. And not just the people, although that is important and the main part, But you know how many things of value were taken from this country and taken to the United Kingdom? The money that was earned because of slavery, and the roads and the buildings and the banks and the insurance companies. Man, you've got to learn your history. Because you shouldn't just treat Emancipation Day as a holiday if you go to river and go to beach. I not say you can't go to river and go to beach, But I say you need to understand where we are come from. I plead with you. Teachers alone can't do it. You have to understand that if you don't know, you are at a great disadvantage. So I'm begging you to bear that in mind. If you don't know, you are at a great disadvantage. So as we go into this period of Emancipendence, because Independence Day is going to be on Friday, again, it's a public holiday, so we're going to be in curfew beginning at 3 o'clock. Make sure that you go with a different kind of understanding this year. Make sure that you understand what the period really should mean, how you should treat with this time of year. That is not just time for party and celebration. Oh yes, there is a place of party and celebration. And by the way, speaking of party and celebration, nobody did it, Come with the one, with the telling say, Friday I must stay no think a cool breeze. Well, the numbers are rising. The gatherings, the parties, the young people, quite a few young people getting COVID-19. Some of them in hospital. And unfortunately, some are gone on to meet the ancestors. I don't want that for you. So observe the COVID-19 protocols. There's going to be a blitz with vaccines, these few days, 3, 4 days, 5 days. Go register upon the Ministry of Health website if you're here in Jamaica and get your vaccine. No matter listen to the crosses where people are tell you. Right? Because people make up and it's looking at people creative bad, science fiction and all them something because people have creative minds. But make sure that the creative mind don't put you in a position where you come down with COVID-19 and then you either end up in a hospital, on ventilator, or 6 foot down or your ashes blowing in the wind. We don't want that for you. So remember the spirit of Nanny as you think about emancipation. Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp, and the others whose lives and blood run for us to be here today. Reflect. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And that means a lot to all of us. That means that you should be sitting and thinking, what are the things you need to lay aside? Like not being informed, ignorance means you don't know. Not being kind to your fellow Jamaican, because somehow we're wicked, This is Faye Ellington. I think I've left enough with you to ponder for this period. Notice me put on my shirt though. Yeah, man, I have to get in a nice spirit. Not that kind of spirit. Walk good and tell your mother one how to do. Great to interact with you once again.